Right, so this video is for ENTI 633 at the Haskayne School of Business. We are group 4. We have Joel, Eva, Najoy, Daniela, and myself, Lucas. And we are going to be walking through our software application, Bias Buster. So we wanted to do a live demo of how our application works. Essentially what you see on the home screen is a little explanation on what is Bias Busters and why does it matter. And this content is generated by AI. So when the user is ready to start, they would hit the Start Simulation button, and then it begins to load the game. So to explain how the game works, there is a Help button, and it talks about the game objective and how you play. Essentially, what you're doing is going through 5 rounds of candidates, and you are picking the candidate based off of their education, experience, skills, and reference. And what the program will do is uncover any unconscious biases that you have when it comes to hiring. So this software is designed particularly for HR hiring managers. So the game is loaded the first round where we have 3 candidates, and you can see when you go into one candidate, the information looks just like a resume would lay it out in terms of here's their education. It goes through their work experience. We also have skills, both technical and soft skills, and then finally references. Now, once you go through this information for each one of the candidates, if you wanted to ask an additional question to get clarification on something, you can hit the Ask Question button. It will spit out another auto-generated question with an answer. And then you also have the option to ask your own question. So this is all powered by OpenAI, but you can say, provide another reference. And once you put that in there, it will feed into the algorithm and it'll spit out a response. So they provide a reference. These answers are generated. They are authentic every single time. So now I've got that answer. I'm going to go ahead and select that candidate. And I'm going to say the reason I selected that candidate is because of their interview response. So it provides on this screen a decision reflection that goes through a bias insight and what influenced your decision. The user also does have the ability to share any additional thoughts that they had about their decision. So once I'm happy with this screen, I can continue to the next round. And it interrupts with a bias insight. So because this is educational software, we are integrating in a more fun, interactive way insights where candidates and users can learn. So I understand that. Now it provides a different scenario. So we have a different position we're hiring for, 3 new candidates with all different education, experience, skills, references for each one of those. And once I'm happy and I've read through them as the user, I can select my candidate and I'm going to say personal impression for this one. I get another bias insight on this page. So once I've read that, I understand. Again, we're moving on to round 3 now. So it's going to load up 3 additional candidates for a UX UI designer position. I'm just going to go ahead and select the first candidate here because of their educational background. And I will continue to round 4. And so you can see, again, I get a unique bias insight. I understand. So now we're loading up round 4 here. And this position is for an HR director. So it's going to give relative work experience and relative education for people who would actually be hiring for an HR resources director. So again, just for this demonstration, I'm going to pick based on technical skills. I picked Alexandra. I'll continue to the next round. I again get a new bias insight. I understand, and this will move on to the final round for the game. So we're going to go ahead and pick Amar for this one, and we're hiring for a project manager. And I'm going to say educational background and continue to the final round. I get my prompt there. And so once we've gone through all 5 rounds, this is where we get into our hiring performance dashboard. So there's 3 tabs on this dashboard. The first one is your team statistics. So what was the gender distribution? It turns out I picked 100% females. The age distribution is provided as well, and then the education background. So it turns out I picked 100% of the candidates with master's degrees. Then we get our team performance predictors. So this says, how would your team perform based on what you picked? And we have a 95% score, so we are above average. And then here's the list of the team that I built out. So it's got all of their attributes for my team. So the next thing we'll go through is the bias analysis. So what this does is the program will rate what went into your decisions. So gender bias selection. So we had an 80% strength on that one. Age diversity bias, educational bias as well. So that provides the unconscious influences that I went through. And then here is the decision consistency heat map. So this maps out when you provide an answer on why you made that decision. So these are your conscious inputs. It provides a heat map for that. And it looks like education and skills, technical skills, were my two highest influences. The final thing we built on this side of it is the what if simulator. So what we can do is, instead of picking our original candidate, we can say, what if I changed in round 3 to Aisha? And then we simulate the alternative. And it takes a bit to load here. So Aisha will now pop up, and my team diversity went up by 5%. We lost 1.2 years of average experience, and my innovation potential went up by 10%. So this is a neat way to evaluate if you made some changes in your picks, how would it affect your score? The final one is the learning insights. So this is getting into the educational side of things. You've been through the game where we've gone through the 5 rounds, and now what can we learn from that? And then if we want to take it even further, the program will also recommend additional articles and resources that you can go out to learn even more about that topic. And then again, there's a did you know? So that really takes through the whole analytical side of things. Once you've completed the game, that hiring performance dashboard is really where it gives the user all of the insights that they need to correct any of those biases that they may have. So some of the other things I didn't cover is just the levels. So as you complete more games, you will move up. In terms of novice recruiter, you'll move up levels. And when you're ready to start a new game, you just click this button and it will generate an entire new game for you.